Hey folks, what if I told you there might be a tiny 1 cent coin sitting in your drawer, under your couch cushions, or even rattling around in your cup holder, worth a whopping $2 million? Yeah, you heard me right. $2 million. For a penny. Now before you laugh it off and say, ain't no way a penny is worth that much, let me tell you, not only is it possible, it's real. This isn't just some made-up internet nonsense. We're talking about the 2009 no-mint mark bicentennial Lincoln penny. And this little copper-colored beauty has been turning heads in the coin world. You might even be sitting on one right now without even knowing it. So today, we're going to dive into what makes this coin so darn valuable, how to spot it, what to look for. And I'll even throw in a personal story that'll have you double-checking every penny you've ever touched. Grab a snack, sit back, and let's roll into the world of million-dollar pennies. In 2009. The United States Mint did something special to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 200th birthday. They released 4 different designs on the back of the penny, each one highlighting a different stage of Lincoln's life. From his humble log cabin birth in Kentucky to his presidency in Washington, D.C., the Mint went all out. Now, these pennies were made in Philadelphia and Denver, so you'll often see a little P or D on them. But here's where things get interesting. Some of them, very few of them, were struck without any mint mark at all. And a tiny batch of those ended up being ultra-high quality with some very strange and valuable features. These rare no-mint mark 2009 Lincoln pennies are considered error coins or special strike coins. And when a coin collector hears error or special strike, they perk up faster than a guy who just found out his old Hot Wheels collection is worth 6 figures. A super sharp design with all the little details crisp and clean, a glossy, proof-like surface. Even though it wasn't officially a proof coin, and most importantly, the coin should look like it was never circulated, mini fresh, like it just came off the press. Now, you're probably wondering, how does a 1 cent coin end up being worth $2 million? Well, here's the deal. When you've got a coin that combines rarity, error, condition, and historical significance, the value shoots up like gas prices in July. Collectors go nuts for unique coins, especially ones tied to big historical events or figures like Lincoln. And let's be honest, Abe Lincoln is one of the most iconic faces in American history. Put him on a rare penny, and boom, collectors start throwing serious money around. One of these bad boys sold for just under $2 million at a private auction. Why? Because it was flawless. Graded at the top-tier level by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, it had that perfect storm of rarity and perfection that coin collectors dream about. A couple years ago, I was cleaning out my car finally, right? You know how it goes. Old receipts, melted gum, a French fry from who knows when. And then I spotted a penny wedged in the seat crease. I pulled it out, wiped off the mystery crumbs, and saw it was one of those 2009 Lincoln designs. Now, I didn't think much of it at the time. I tossed it in a coffee can I keep in the garage for spare change. But later that night, I saw a post online about rare pennies, and something clicked. I ran to the garage, dumped out the whole can like a kid tearing open cereal boxes for a prize, and guess what? It wasn't the $1 million one, but it was a 2009 with a no mint mark. And even though mine wasn't in perfect condition, it still fetched over $50 from a collector on eBay. Not bad for something I found under a pile of dog hair and drive-through napkins. That one moment turned me into a coin-hunting fiend. I check every penny now. Every single one. Ask my wife, she's caught me with a magnifying glass at the kitchen table more times than she can count. So here's the bottom line, folks. That little copper coin jingling in your pocket might be worth more than your car. The 2009 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, especially in pristine condition, is no joke. And if you're lucky enough to find one with those perfect features, you could be looking at a payday most people only dream about. Don't ignore your loose change. Start checking every penny you come across. Look for the no-mint mark. Look for that shiny, detailed finish. You never know what treasure you're holding until you take a closer look. If you found this video helpful or at least a little entertaining, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. We're diving deep into the world of coins worth money, collecting strategies, and all the quirky stories that come with it. Don't miss out on the next big coin tip that could put serious cash in your wallet.
Hey there folks, and welcome back to the channel where pocket change just might change your life. You ever reach into your couch cushions and pull out a penny, thinking it's just a piece of junk? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies, specifically a 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1 million? Yeah, I said it. 1 Million dollars. Now, before you go tearing apart your sofa like a raccoon at a trash buffet, stick around. Because today we're diving deep into one of the craziest modern coin stories out there. We'll talk about why this little copper-colored coin is worth big bucks, how you can spot one, and why collectors are basically losing their minds over it. Oh, and I'll share a personal story about a penny mistake that still haunts me to this day. Trust me, you don't want to miss that one. So grab your penny jar, pour yourself some coffee, and let's get rolling. Because this episode could literally pay off, in cents. So, back in 1994, the US Mint was cranking out these pennies like they were going out of style. Most of them came from the Philadelphia Mint, which is why they don't have a mint mark. If you've got a 1994 penny and there's no little letter under the year, that's normal. That's not the $1 million version yet. Now here's the kicker. A very tiny handful of these 1994 no mint mark pennies were struck with an error. And as you probably know, errors are where things get spicy in the coin world. This $1 million penny? It's a rare mint error, most likely caused during the die making process. We're talking about an off-metal strike, meaning the penny was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for another coin. In some cases, that could mean it was struck on a dime planchet or even on a foreign coin blank. These error coins are incredibly hard to find, but when they do show up, collectors go wild. One of these bad boys, perfect condition, full red color, and confirmed as an off-metal strike, sold at auction for $1 million. Yup. Somebody out there is walking around $1 million richer because they had a penny. Now here's the thing. Most 1994 no mint mark pennies you'll find in circulation are only worth face value. 1 cent. But if you happen to spot one that looks weird, maybe it's lighter than usual, maybe it has unusual coloring, maybe it doesn't ring quite right when you drop it on a table, you might be sitting on a goldmine. Not if it looks like a penny but feels like a feather, it's time to get it checked out. Now I know what you're thinking. This sounds too good to be true, right? And yeah, for most of us it probably is. But coin collecting is like treasure hunting. You gotta sort through the dirt to find the gold. Let me tell you a quick story. About 10 years ago, I was going through my change jar, looking for old wheat pennies. I had this massive pile, and my wife walks in, sees me squinting at coins under a lamp, and asks what in the world I'm doing. She just rolls her eyes and goes, "Sure you are, Indiana Jones." Anyway, I find this 1994 penny. No mint mark. Looks a little different, kinda shiny and super clean. I toss it aside because, how special could it be? You fast forward 2 years. I read an article about a 1994 no mint mark off metal error penny selling for $1 million. I sprint to my old coin box like I'm being chased by IRS agents. Gone. Probably spent it on a pack of gum. I'm telling you, I think about that penny every time I see someone chewing juicy fruit. Check your coins, my friend. Even if your spouse thinks you've lost it. Sometimes it pays to be the coin nerd. That's standard for Philadelphia, but keep it in mind if the penny weighs less than 2.5 grams, it could be struck on the wrong planchet. Anything that looks out of place might be worth checking. If you're suspicious, get it graded. PCGS or NGC are the big names. Look, I'm not saying every 1994 penny is $1 million payday. But the ones that are? Life-changing, and don't just check yours. Ask your family, your neighbors, your mailman, heck, check the penny dish at your local diner. That little copper coin could be your ticket to early retirement. So there you have it. The humble little 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny, possibly worth $1 million. It's wild, it's rare, and it might just be sitting in your pocket right now. The world of coin collecting is full of these stories. Stories where the underdog coin becomes the heavyweight champ. And let's be honest, who doesn't love a good treasure hunt? If you had fun hanging out today, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button. Tap the bell so you don't miss out on more tips, tricks, and strategies for spotting coins that are worth money. We've got tons of videos coming that'll help you turn your spare change into serious cash, and hey, if you find that $1 million penny, just remember who sent you looking. I'll take my cut in quarters, thank you very much. Alright fellas, imagine this. You're at the grocery store. You just bought a bag of chips, a bottle of soda, and the cashier hands you a few pennies in change. You glance down and think, just pocket change, right? Wrong. One of those little copper-colored guys might just be your $1 million ticket. That's right. A 2017 Lincoln penny, with the little P mint mark on it, has been valued at $1.1 million. Yes, you heard me right. $1.1 million. Now, before you start flipping over every penny you've ever seen, hang tight. Because in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what makes this ordinary looking coin so special, how to spot it, and why it could change your life. And stick around, because I've got a wild personal story about how I almost threw away a small fortune. Spoiler alert, it involves a couch cushion and a whole lot of regret. Let's rewind for a second. The year is 2017. We've got fidget spinners spinning, memes are flying, and the US Mint decides to throw us a little curveball. For the first time ever, they add a P Mint mark to the Lincoln cent to celebrate the 225th anniversary of the United States Mint. Now, for those of you who are new to this coin game, the mint mark is a little letter on the coin that tells you where it was made. P stands for Philadelphia. Prior to 2017, Lincoln cents made in Philly didn't have a mint mark. So when collectors saw that tiny P on the front of the penny, it was like spotting Bigfoot in your backyard. Most of these 2017 P pennies are worth, well, 1 cent. But a tiny handful of them, and I mean tiny, came out with extremely rare and valuable errors. And one of those bad boys, with a dramatic double die on the obverse, sold for a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Let me break it down for you like you're sitting on a lawn chair at a neighborhood barbecue. First up, you're looking for a strong double die. That means the image on the front of the coin, good old Abe Lincoln himself, looks slightly doubled. His features might appear blurry or shadowed, especially around the eyes, beard, and the lettering like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty." If it looks like Lincoln's had a rough night or got hit with a double vision spell, you might be onto something. Next, condition matters big time. Coin collectors use a grading scale, and the most valuable coins are usually in what they call mint state. That's code for no scratches, no dirt, no evidence that it went swimming in a washing machine. A 2017 P penny with a dramatic error and in mint state condition, now that's the jackpot combination. But wait, there's more. Some versions of the 2017 P penny also have die breaks, cuds, or off-center strikes. That's when the minting machine hiccups and leaves behind a coin that looks a little funky. Funky, in this case, equals valuable, and now you might be thinking, yeah right, what are the odds I find one of those? Well, let me tell you a little story about how I once learned that lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I was helping my cousin move. We were lifting an old beat-up recliner that looked like it had seen one too many Super Bowl Sundays. As we tilted it, a handful of change spilled out of the side. I scooped it up, tossed it in a Ziploc bag, and forgot all about it. A few months later, I was cleaning out the garage and came across the bag. Figured I'd toss it in the coin jar and be done with it. But something told me to take a closer look. And there it was, a 1992 close AM penny that was worth a few $1,000s. I almost fainted, and ever since that day, I don't look at pennies the same. So when news hit about the 2017 P penny going for over $1 million, I started checking my change like a detective at a crime scene. Now don't go quitting your job just yet, but do start checking those pennies. Look closely at any 2017 penny with the P mint mark. If you spot a double die, or it looks just a little off, you might be holding a coin that could change your whole year. If you do think you've got a winner, get it evaluated by a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. Don't just throw it on eBay with the title Rare $1 Million Coin PLZ buy, because trust me, serious collectors want proof before dropping that kind of cash. And hey, if it turns out to just be a regular penny, no worries. That's one more step on the path to becoming a seasoned coin collector. Plus, it's a good excuse to empty those coin jars and clean out the car console. You never know what's hiding in there. First, never underestimate the power of a penny. Second, the 2017 P Lincoln cent might look ordinary, but with the right error and condition, it could be worth $1 million. And third, always check the couch cushions. Always. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tips on coins that could be worth a fortune, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I drop new videos every week packed with money-making strategies, coin tips, and stories from real collectors like you and me. And hey, if you've got a cool coin story, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear about the wildest coin you've ever found. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be $1 million surprise. Hey there folks, let me ask you something. Have you ever dropped a penny on the ground and just left it there like it owed you money? I mean, come on, it's just a penny, right? Wrong. What if I told you that one little brown coin from 1979 with no mint mark could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million today? Yeah, you heard me right. 1 cent worth more than most people's houses. You might have had it jingling in your pocket, sitting in a jar on your dresser, or hiding out under your couch cushions all this time. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this humble little 1979 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark is turning heads in the coin collecting world and changing lives in the process. So grab your coffee, kick back, and if you've got a penny jar nearby, you might want to keep it close. You could be sitting on a treasure and not even know it at first. Let's talk about what the heck the no mint mark even means. When you look at most coins, there's usually a tiny little letter under the date. That letter tells you where the coin was made. For example, a D means Denver, and an S means San Francisco. But if there's no letter at all? That means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, Philadelphia normally pumps out a ton of pennies, so you'd think they'd be a dime a dozen. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1979, something a little out of the ordinary happened. A very limited batch of these Lincoln Memorial cents was struck in Philadelphia without any mint mark at all. And one of them, get this, was struck on a bronze planchet left over from 1978. Now that might not sound like a big deal, but in the world of coin collecting, that's like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn. That kind of error makes collectors go absolutely bananas, and you know what happened? One of these error coins, looking all innocent with no mint mark and nothing flashy to the naked eye, ended up selling for a staggering $1.2 million at auction. That's right. Someone cashed in one little penny for more than most folks earn in a lifetime. Makes you want to go digging through the sofa cushions now, doesn't it? Now let me tell you a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. We found an old Folgers coffee can, yes, the red one, and it was full of coins. I'm talking pennies, nickels, the whole gang. At first, I thought, cool, maybe enough here to get a burger, but I started looking through those pennies one night just for fun, with my old magnifying glass and a bowl of popcorn. I found some Wheaties, a few from the 50s and 60s, and then bam, one from 1979 with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. I ran over to my computer like I just found buried treasure. Turned out mine wasn't the $1 million version, but it was still worth a few bucks. And more importantly, it got me hooked on coin collecting. Ever since then, I've been on the hunt, and let me tell you, it's the thrill of the chase that keeps me going. You never know what's hiding in plain sight. Now, what makes the 1979 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth so much is a combination of factors: its rarity, condition, and of course, the story behind it. The most valuable ones are those that were struck on the wrong metal, like leftover bronze planchets instead of the usual copper-coated zinc ones. Those planchet errors are what drive collectors wild. Plus, if the coin is in pristine condition, what we call mint state, then the value shoots up like a bottle rocket on the 4th of July. Grading services like PCGS and NGC are the go-to for verifying condition. So if you think you've got a winner, send it in and let the pros give you the thumbs up. Oh, and here's a little tip from me to you: always check the rim of your coins. Sometimes there are subtle errors or doubling that can turn a regular coin into a jackpot. Use a magnifier or even your phone's camera with a zoom. You'd be amazed at what you can find when you take a closer look. Alright, folks, let's wrap it up. The 1979 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny might look like just another coin, but it could be your ticket to a 7-figure payday. Whether it's a rare planchet error or just an incredibly well-preserved piece, these little treasures are out there. So don't underestimate the power of pocket change. That penny you nearly tossed out could be worth more than your car, your house, and your in-laws' vacation home combined. Before you go digging through the coin jar or tipping over that couch, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and give this video a like. I've got loads more tips and coin strategies coming your way. We're talking dimes worth thousands, quarters that'll make your jaw drop, and dollar coins that are anything but average. Hey folks, do me a favor. The next time you dump a pile of pennies on the counter to pay for gas station coffee, slow down. You might be throwing away over $1 million. Yeah, I said it. A single penny. 1 cent worth $1.3 million today. We're talking about the 1968 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny. Sounds boring, right? Just another old coin? Oh, no. This little copper guy is the sleeper hit of the coin world. It's like finding out your quiet neighbor secretly owns a private island and a pet tiger, and I'll be honest with you, I had one of these in my hand once. I didn't know it at the time. Thought it was just pocket change. What did I do? Threw it in a vending machine for a warm root beer. We'll get to that painful story later. Stick around because in this video, I'm gonna break down what makes this coin so valuable, what to look for, and how you could be sitting on a fortune right now. And yeah, I'll embarrass myself with a personal story, too. Let's get into it. Alright, let's talk about the basics first. The 1968 Lincoln Memorial Penny was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the thing, only the San Francisco and Denver mints put their little mint marks on the coins of Philadelphia, being the mysterious introvert of the US mint system, didn't bother with a mint mark. So, when you find a 1968 penny with no mint mark, that means it was made in Philly. Now normally, these are pretty common. You'd think they're worth maybe a few cents if you're lucky. But here's where things get spicy. There's a very special error version of the 1968 no mint mark penny floating around. It's not just any penny. We're talking about a rare coin with incredibly sharp detail, a flawless finish, and an almost unnoticeable error that only the savviest collectors catch. Some of these coins were struck on proof planchets, meaning blank coins meant for high-quality proof coins accidentally got sent to the regular minting process. The result? A regular-looking penny with proof-like shine and mirror finish that was never supposed to exist. The coin that sold for $1.3 million was in near-perfect condition. I mean, the kind of condition where the coin never saw a sweaty pocket or loose couch cushion in its life. It was practically pampered. Now, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a penny? Well, rarity, baby. That and the fact that collectors are a passionate bunch. They want what no one else can get. When a coin like this comes up for auction, it's like a heavyweight fight between rich folks waving their paddle numbers like it's the Super Bowl. There are also rumors of a few 1968 no mint mark pennies struck on silver planchets. Imagine that. A penny that's not even made out of copper. If that's real, and there's speculation out there, you're looking at a lottery ticket sitting in your junk drawer. And now let's rewind to my tragic tale. This was about 10 years ago. I was broke, hungry, and standing in front of a vending machine that only accepted coins. I emptied my pockets and found this shiny 1968 penny with no mint mark. I remember thinking, dang, this one's got some shine on it. But hunger overrode curiosity. I fed that sucker into the machine and bought a lukewarm root beer and a granola bar that tasted like cardboard and regret. A couple years later, I'm flipping through a coin guide and I see a listing, 1968 no mint mark penny. Proof strike error, estimated value up to $1 million. My jaw dropped so fast it almost cracked the table. I had it. I had it in my hand. And I traded it for a root beer that didn't even have fizz. Let that be a lesson, my friends. Never underestimate the power of an old coin and a little knowledge. That coin was probably still sitting in the belly of that vending machine until someone smarter than me fished it out. No mint mark under the date, mirror-like finish, super sharp details, especially on Lincoln's beard, and the lettering a smooth, high-quality surface with no signs of circulation. If it looks too shiny to be true, it just might be, and if you find one, don't just toss it back in the coin jar. Take it to a professional coin grader. Don't let it fall into the wrong hands or worse, into another vending machine. Also, check your inherited coin collections. That dusty old coffee can full of pennies in the garage might be your retirement plan in disguise. That penny you flick off the table or ignore at the bottom of your cup holder could be worth more than your car. Maybe even your house. The 1968 no mint mark Lincoln Memorial penny isn't just a chunk of copper. It's a secret millionaire hiding in plain sight. And if you've got one in pristine condition, you might just be holding onto a $1.3 million treasury now. If you learned something new today, if you laughed, or if you suddenly feel the urge to raid your coin jar, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips, coin facts, and money-making strategies coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found a strange coin and didn't realize what you had until it was too late. Misery loves company. Thanks for hanging out with me, and remember, always check your change. Because one day, that penny might just pay for your dream vacation, your mortgage, or a lifetime supply of root beer that doesn't taste like sadness. Alright fellas, let me ask you a question. What if I told you there might be a little brown coin in your junk drawer right now that's worth more than a brand new Lamborghini? I know. You're probably thinking I've lost my marbles. But stick with me, because we're diving into the wild world of the 1960 Lincoln Memorial penny. Yep, that tiny copper coin with Honest Abe on the front, and how one of these little guys is sitting pretty at a value of $1.4 million today. That's right. $1.4 million. Now, before you run off flipping over every penny you've ever touched, let me walk you through why this coin is so special, how to spot the jackpot version, and how you can turn your spare change into serious cheddar. Plus, I've got a funny story about the time I almost spent one of these bad boys on a vending machine Snickers. No joke. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about this copper superstar. Let's start with the basics. The 1960 Lincoln penny is a part of the Memorial Reverse series. That's the one with the Lincoln Memorial building on the back, not the wheat ears. The D mint mark means it was minted in Denver, and as with most pennies from that era, it's 95% copper, 5% zinc. Just your average, everyday pocket change, or so you'd think. Now, in 1960, the US Mint was having a bit of an identity crisis. They were switching between large and small date versions of the penny, both minted in Denver and Philadelphia. Some collectors call it a transitional year. I call it a golden opportunity, or maybe a copper one. Here's where it gets juicy. Among those 1960 pennies, there's a rare variety known as the small date over large date. Basically, the mint made a whoopsie and stamped a small date over a large one. Kinda like putting a new label over an old can of beans and calling it gourmet. This error makes the coin super rare. And you guessed it, that version is the one that hit the $1.4 million mark in the current collector's market. First, look at the date. The number 9 in the date should look more closed and rounded, not open or curved like in the large date version. The 6 is another giveaway. The small date version has a higher 6 with a very thin tail. If your coin looks like that, you might want to hold on to it like it's made of gold. A few years back, I was digging around for change in my truck's center console. You know how it is, you just want a soda, and the only thing standing between you and thirst-quenching satisfaction is 75 cents. I found 3 quarters and a handful of pennies. Tossed them into the change slot without a second thought. Well, fast forward a week. I was reading up on rare pennies, just casually torturing myself like any good coin collector does, and I see a photo of the 1960 small date over large date. My heart stopped. I swear on my grandpa's coin jar, I had seen that exact date in my truck a few days before. I went back out to check the console. Empty. I checked under the seat. Nothing. I even went back to that vending machine like some crazy coin hunting detective. No luck. I'm 90% sure I fed $1 million penny to a soda machine for a Diet Coke. If that isn't heartbreak, I don't know what is. Now, let's talk about value. Most regular 1960 pennies are worth 1 cent, maybe a few dollars in pristine condition. But if you've got that rare small over large date error in high grade, especially in mint state 65 or higher, you're looking at serious money. Auctions have seen this coin go for over $1 million, with one specimen bringing in $1.4 million thanks to its perfect condition and rarity. Even circulated versions of this error penny can fetch hundreds or thousands, depending on condition. So don't toss any 1960 penny aside without giving it a good hard look. Get a magnifying glass. Look at it under a bright light. Heck, take it to a coin shop and let them drool over it with you. Collectors love this coin because it combines a mint error, a transitional year, and a major demand for memorial pennies. It's basically the rock star of the Lincoln series. No, not every 1960 is a small date or an error. The large date is far more common. But hey, hunting for the rare one is half the fun. Like fishing, but with better odds and less worm guts. So there you have it. One humble penny. $1 million mistake, in your favor. If you've got a jar of change collecting dust somewhere, or a drawer in the kitchen that's become a coin graveyard, it might be time to dig in and do a little treasure hunting. And hey, if I saved you from spending $1 million penny at a vending machine, I think I've earned your subscription. Hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and ring that little notification bell so you don't miss out on the next coin worth big money. I've got strategies, tips, and funny stories that'll make you laugh, learn, and maybe even strike it rich. Hey folks, let me hit you with a quick question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? No, I'm not talking about grabbing a handful of change at the gas station and tossing it in your car's cup holder. I mean actually flipping it over, squinting at the date, and asking yourself, could this tiny copper coin be my retirement plan? Because let me tell you something wild, a regular looking 1977 no mint Mark Lincoln Memorial penny just sold for a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Yep, you heard that right. $1.5 million. For a coin most folks wouldn't bend over to pick up off the sidewalk. So, what makes this little coin so special? And why should you be checking every single penny in your piggy bank like a detective on a crime show? Stick around, because we're diving deep into the history, value, and secret sauce behind the 1977 no mint Mark Lincoln penny. Plus, I'll share a personal story where I almost threw away a coin that could have bought me a brand new truck. Yeah, I'm still not over it. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny, if it doesn't have a mint mark under the date, was minted in Philadelphia. Now back then, Philly didn't bother stamping their coins with a mint mark, which means most 1977 pennies you find from there are going to look pretty average. But once in a blue moon, you'll find one with a flaw so rare or a condition so perfect, collectors will throw a mountain of cash at it just to call it theirs. So what exactly makes this particular 1977 penny worth $1.5 million? Drumroll please, it's all about condition, rarity, and those sweet little minting errors that make collectors weak in the knees. Now, the one that hit the $1 million mark had a crazy combination going for it. First, it was in what's called mint state, and not just any mint state, we're talking MS-68 or better. That means this penny was so pristine, it looked like it came straight off the press yesterday and then floated on a pillow into someone's collection without ever being touched by human hands. Try finding a 47-year-old coin that fresh. It's like finding a Twinkie from the 70s that still looks edible. Some of these 1977 pennies have what collectors call a double die obverse. Sounds fancy, right? That's just a nerdy way of saying the coin was struck twice, causing parts of the design to look doubled, especially the date and the words, "In God We Trust." And let me tell you, when a coin's got that kind of error, collectors lose their minds. I remember one time, I was helping my grandpa clean out his garage. We found this dusty old coffee tin filled with coins, some wheat pennies, some state quarters, even a couple of buffalo nickels. I thought, hey, maybe there's treasure in here. But then my younger cousin comes along and dumps half of it into a vending machine trying to get a candy bar. I almost tackled him. No joke. A week later, I took the rest to a local coin shop, and the guy pulls out a 1977 penny and says, you know, this could be worth something if it's in the right condition. Of course, ours wasn't. It had a scratch big enough to drive a pickup through. But still, it lit a fire under me. I started learning more, checking my change religiously. And wouldn't you know it, a few months later I found a 1969 penny with a double die error, nothing crazy, but it got me a couple $100. Not bad for pocket change. Now back to the big money 1977 penny. What makes its value skyrocket isn't just one factor, it's the perfect storm. Rarity, condition, demand, errors. And let's be honest, a good story behind it helps too. Some of these high-dollar pennies are sitting in private collections, museum vaults, or coin shows, waiting for the next lucky person to come along and cash in and check the date. You want a 1977 penny with no mint mark, look for doubling on the front, especially on the date and letters, inspect the condition. The cleaner and shinier it is, the better. Use a magnifying glass. Your eyes aren't as young as they used to be, let's be honest, and if you find something that looks weird or unique, don't assume it's trash. Get it checked by a professional, and listen, I get it. It sounds too good to be true. A penny that could pay off your mortgage and still leave you enough to buy a boat? But hey, people hit the lottery every day. Why not hit the penny jackpot, so next time you're handed change at the gas station, don't just toss it in the cup holder and forget about it. One of those pennies might be a hidden fortune. That 1977 no mint Mark Lincoln penny might look plain, but trust me, it could be your ticket to a whole new life if you find the right one. And even if you don't stumble on the $1 million version, learning to spot valuable coins is fun, profitable, and honestly, kinda addictive. It's like modern day treasure hunting, and you don't even need a shovel. Just a sharp eye, a little patience, and maybe a magnifying glass you borrowed from your kid's science kit. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want more tips on how to turn your pocket change into big bucks, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I've got loads of coin hunting tricks, crazy stories from collectors, and inside info that could help you find the next big payday. Turn on those notifications too, so you never miss a penny, literally.